Hey, this is Tyler James with Comics Launch, and I want to talk about how COVID-19 is affecting comics on Kickstarter. This is just going to be a quick one, a quick little update about what's going on. I've posted a couple of videos looking at the COVID crisis, the opportunities that it created, the challenges that it's been creating, and specifically how it's affecting creators who are interested in planning, launching, funding, and fulfilling projects on the Kickstarter platform. I work with a lot of creators on that inside of my Comics Launch Pro community. I also do a podcast called Comics Launch, which is available on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, etc., where we talk a lot about Kickstarter crowdfunding, building audiences, and bringing your creative dreams to life. And so I want to talk a little bit about that today. I will point out, if you are a creator and specifically a comic book creator who's going to be launching a project on Kickstarter this year, would love to invite you to join us in our free Comics Launchers Facebook group. This is a group for successful comic book Kickstarter creators. You can join over at comicslaunch.com/group. There's about 240 of us in there right now, and would love to have you request to join, and we'll have you come in and jump in with us for more tips, strategies, tactics. And I actually do have a brand new Kickstarter launch roadmap for comic book creators that is a free gift when you join. So jump in, and we'll see you in there. But let's look at the numbers. So I've actually been paying attention. What I've been doing just is like around the beginning of each month, as I've been looking at what is actually going on by the numbers, by the stats for as far as projects on Kickstarter. And as you can see, March 2020 was kicking butt. Everything was sort of just rolling along. There were 225 live projects on Kickstarter, which was around a high mark for where projects and comic projects were live. Over $1 million was on the platform. The success rate was doing well. And then we see in April of 2020 there was a massive drop off. Now, usually April's a big month for launches on Kickstarter, especially in the comics category. But we saw a big drop in projects and comic projects, as well as projects overall. Kickstarter said overall projects launched in April were down like 30-40%, which obviously had a big effect on what is a relatively small company in Kickstarter. So there was a big drop in April, no question about it. But one of the things that was, worth pointing out is that while the number of projects dropped in April, the success rate overall for projects ticked up. And so this is a trend that we've seen play out through May, June, and July. And so we hit a low of 135 projects in the beginning of May. And this is live comic book projects on Kickstarter. But what you can actually see is that when we jump to June of 2020, there was sort of a rebound here, right? And so in May, even less projects were live at the beginning of May. Then at the beginning of June, projects bumped it up to 175 were live at the beginning of June. And for the first time ever, the success rate overall for projects on comic projects on Kickstarter crossed the 59% mark. And so where are we at the beginning of July? Well, we're ticked up again. So there's 190 projects live on Kickstarter right now. Shout out to Tyler Chin-Tanner, who's Maybe Someday project. I saw that just wrapped up today, I believe, and just got it's fully funded and awesome. Looks like an awesome anthology. But 190 projects live right now. Success rate, again, is ticked up over the last month. So more projects are launching. Success rate is continuing to go up. There's a little less dollars live right now, but there were actually some like blockbuster projects in the comics category last month. And I think a couple of those have ended. So we'll see if that ticks up throughout the month. But this is sort of like the big number and the big thing that I'm paying attention to. We did see a lot of creators just hit the pause button on their launches, decide not to launch, pull back, delay, etc. But I think what they've discovered is that for projects that do launch, the water is fine. The crowdfunding water is fine, and they're absolutely moving forward with it. And so again, this is the trend that I'm seeing right now. Live projects on Kickstarter, at least in the comic book category, are starting to return to pre-COVID numbers. All right, they're not quite there yet, but they're moving in that direction. And one thing that is unchanged and has been unchanged literally since I've been doing the Comics Launch podcast. I started podcasting and really diving deep into the mindset, strategies, and tactics that work for creators on Kickstarter back in 2015. I've been doing it weekly ever since. The success rate for comic projects has never gone down, even in the COVID crisis. So that's good news for a lot of creators like us. Now, so these are the facts. This is what's actually going on the ground. I do want to give you one prediction, though. I predict that the number of comic projects, even though they took a dip during April and May, I predict that at some point this year, the number of comic projects on Kickstarter will hit a new all-time high this year. I believe that will be in part because that's the trend overall that's been going, but also because it looks like conventions, especially the biggest conventions, they're just not likely at all this year. And who knows, given the current circumstances and, first wave ticking up again, second wave may be coming, et cetera. Who knows when conventions will actually be in full flight again. And so I believe there will be a lot more creators that are looking to fill the gap, fill that void in their budget and in their revenues. And Kickstarter is a platform that does not require has been socially distancing since before it was cool. So that's my prediction for you. Let me know what you think. What have you been seeing? What have you been noticing? What are your predictions for what crowdfunding is going to look like going forward? But again, I will encourage you, if you are someone who will be launching or thinking about launching a project on Kickstarter or a crowdfunding project, we'd love to have you inside the Comics Launchers group. Just request to join over at comicslaunch.com/group, and we'd love to let you in. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Hope this update was helpful. Get out there and launch those projects. I can't wait to see what you launch next.